Okay, so I'm going to get started now. Spent kind of about a day with this, messing around with Buildbox 2.0, trying to get familiar with it and figuring out how some of this stuff works. It is buggy, but again, it's beta software, kind of pre-released. It was kind of promised to be a little more stable than it is, but I think I can work around it, and I think I can get something built here. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to start out a new game, and this is still going to be NEONEO. I am going to change it to a jump type style game, and you'll see more of that in just a second. So I'll just go through the settings. Portrait, we're going to do distance. Game, we'll leave it default, and I'm going to have to fiddle with the settings and get my own custom. For those that don't know, all these are presets for how you can configure worlds in the mind map section. So these just aren't filled out because they haven't kind of set the presets for them yet. So these presets they've got probably the most popular, which is why they chose those first. But you can kind of set it up however you want and get any of these functions out of it, pretty much. So we'll just take default for now, and I'm going to mess with that in a bit. World settings, I'm going to do multi-world. I think I'm going to do 3 to start with. They're going to be endless style. I could do next world or world select or end scene. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do world select. And that's basically all this is going to do is reconfigure the mapping on the front. And I am going to use a single UI for the whole thing. I'm going to need a pause. I'm going to need a game over. And I'm going to need the info screen. I'm not going to do a coin shop on this one. I'm trying to keep it somewhat simple and less graphics, less to do. But, so it is loaded now. Let's see. I'm going to try to resize this for my screen. Get this all up in there, and we can go ahead and get rid of that. Don't need that. Characters, untitled character. So I'll go to the mind map first. I'll come back and fix all that in a second. This is called the mind map. This is their kind of configure how the flow of your game is supposed to work. And I used it in Buildbox 1, but you couldn't do anything with the wires. It was just, there was one default, and that was it. There was no moving the wires. In fact, the first time I used Buildbox 1, I remember trying to grab them and rewire them, and I couldn't do that. And I was like, I bet that's going to be in the next version. And sure enough, here it is. So that is the setup here. We got the start, which is going to be your loading page. And I'll go ahead and I'm going to pull some graphics over. So we'll get the logo in, and just kind of leave that for now, I guess. Put that down low. There's a preloader I talked about earlier in the first little kind of prequel video. I haven't seen it yet on an actual device, so maybe we will see that before long. I did notice it was not used in the pit that just came out that was used Buildbox 2. I didn't notice a preloading bar on there, so I'll test it out, see how it works. If it doesn't work, I'll just remove it. That's all we really need on here. Let's see, going into main menu. So the main menu is kind of the background. You'll notice on the side you don't have any buttons or anything that you can drop over here, but you do have, if you click on main menu, you have your world properties. So basically this is like a world, except it is for the main menu. And if you go inside of the menu, this is where you get your controls, so all your buttons and stuff, which, because the creator at the beginning of the video, we punched all the stuff in. We said we wanted 3 worlds, so it set up 3 worlds: scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, labeled up here. And if you wanted to rename these, you could. So we'll do 3.1 on that and watch what happens on the front end. So here we have scene 3.1 now, and that goes to, and it's just wherever you drag it to. So right now, if you clicked on that button, it wouldn't go anywhere. But if I connect it to world 3, it goes to world 3. So that's pretty simple stuff. I think everybody's got that just from the other videos. So the routing and everything, it's fairly intuitive once you get the hang of it. It's not too difficult. So I've had a little bit of fun with it. It's kind of, I don't see any 2 games probably ever having the same setup in here. I'm sure you probably could if you really tried, but there's just so many options now with this menu editor. It's pretty cool, and I haven't had any bugs. Nothing's crashed it in here. Nothing's done too terribly wrong. I haven't gone too sideways in here. So now I'm going to spend a little while setting up my menus and stuff, importing graphics, getting things laid out the way I want to. So I'm going to pause, and I'll come back in and kind of walk through what I've done then. All right, thanks. Okay, back now. I'll go ahead and let me rearrange some of these windows, move some stuff around. I got some of the menus set up, and I'll walk through some of that. I didn't want to get too far in down this rabbit hole and then not remember what I should be talking about. So hang on one sec. Let me get this arranged right. Okay, that'd be good. Kind of what I've got so far. Just the loader, then 3 scenes, an info page. I put a little bit of animation on that. You can see kind of quirky there at the end. I don't know why it does that. You can see it kind of like resets itself, and I don't know if it's going to do that in the end, but if you click on the info, you take here, and you know, I was playing with the animation, so I'm just practicing, so this may or may not be the finished product, but that's what I got. So you can see over here the start, that's the kind of the loader. I did animate this to kind of flicker a little. I was trying to give it like a neon flicker kind of look, but if let's see, I was trying to see if I could see it by disconnecting this. Let me save, Control S. I've been saving a lot. And then refresh over here. It doesn't do the flicker here, and I don't know if maybe it'll do it at compile and just won't do it now, but you know, that's what I was shooting for. So I'll put that back onto the main menu field, and I'll open that up again. Still, the best I can tell that this is for is if you wanted to have like a scene running in the background, you could build a scene here, and you could set this to like infinity, just like you could anything else. Set it to -1 here, and then it just keeps running, kind of like the background scene on the pit. If you've looked at the pit yet, I'm pretty sure that's how they're doing this. And just use this, build your scene, and then whatever you put, it's going to underlay anything that goes into the menu user interface. So anything I put on this, the main menu, is going to underlay the menu options here. So it kind of makes sense. I'm going to try to do something with it later, but haven't yet. So getting into the main menu, again, just real basic. It had these buttons already in there, and then I just made the graphics, and I dropped some placeholder graphics in here. Doing a 3-world game, you know, don't really have too much of an idea. I kind of know what it's going to be. It's going to be a jumper, but other than that, you know, don't know. So for the info, you can see, you drop these in, and then where is it? You know, it actually says no action here, but I'm pretty sure, that's funny. If I click on it over there, it actually works. I don't know why that is. Click on it, it's there, but it doesn't actually have anything selected to go to it. That's kind of weird. So we'll go ahead and change it to, why has it got action? Hang on. What's going on here? That's bizarre. I don't get that. It's changed. This was one that was, oh, I know, never mind. I got what's going on here. So I get confused. Info screen up here, routes it over here. Info screen, that's that label, and then it takes it to the info screen. So that's what it's doing. I don't know why that action button's on there. It doesn't make sense that the action, that you could do some kind of an action here. But, there it is. I don't know. Maybe that'll make sense in the future to me. So that's also same with these. So scene 1, which I'm going to change to world 1. World 1. And then world 2. I don't know why it, you know, this was actually auto-generated, and it did it that these were scenes, and it did it that here these came in as worlds. So it labeled these as scenes, but then connected them. It auto-connected all of them for me to the worlds. So I think these should have all been scenes, but anyway, now it makes sense. So world 1, which I just labeled, now goes to world 1, world 2 to 2, and 3 to 3. So far, all I've done is worked on world 1. And I've tweaked some of the settings, and you can, hang on. Sorry about that. So you can see it is connected the main menu to world 1. World 1, here's the settings I've been tweaking. I've given it a gravity of -60, time warp 55, which doesn't matter because I don't have speed increase. Game speed max will be 50, that's how fast it can go up. Velocity drag, bounce. Score multiplier, these are the world parameters. So, and then inside of the world, I got rid of that Buildbox character, put my own character in. Just the default animation for now, but this is where you can configure your individual character settings. So max speed, I gave him 0, 0, bounce, 0, 0, jump. which will be important, is 40. Timeout 0.25. Just take the defaults on those. Most of these I think were all defaults. And then I deselected everything on here because I don't want him to be able to move. This will be he'll be a straight up and down jumper. So over here we've got purchase method. I'm going to make, obviously the first one's going to be free. We'll add some more later. And I did want to go ahead and throw in the particle effect. I showed this a little bit in the prequel video, but I'll do this here real quick. Let me pull him over. We'll grab an effect, call it a, and I'm actually going to close this while I'm doing this. Seems to crash more if I leave that open, so going to close it. Here's my particle editor. Select this guy, and then I'm going to drag in, let's see if I can find something. Where are they? I got effects, emitters. These are just some of the graphics I've been coming up with. I don't know if you can see these. Not this guy, not this guy. Yeah, this one will be a good one. So this 3 little dots right here, that's all it is. I'm going to drag that in, replace that graphic with it. I'll get this out of the way, and you can see what it changed to there. Been having a lot of fun with these today, and let me mess with this real quick. I'm going to pause. Alright, so let's see real quick. I'm going to take that, make it 0. Variable by, I'm trying to figure this out on the fly here. Let's see, we'll change this to 2. Change this to 0, see what happens. It's kind of, I just want something kind of coming out of the middle. Radial, yeah, we're going to give it a 10. So shoot it out. We should go to here to give it some more angle. Variation, let's give it a variation of like 90. That should kind of make it like it's just coming out from the center. And maybe a little more on here, a little more rotation. There we go. But now we want to bring it down some, so make it a shorter lifespan. There we go. I want it a little smaller because that's too fat, so you can make the start size of each of those dots, bring that down. And there's kind of that, and then we'll give it, make the maximum size, the end size, a little smaller too, so it's just kind of a little, there you go, that's not looking too bad. That's kind of what I was shooting for. And I can come back and tweak that some more, but that looks pretty okay. For what I was shooting for here, just some kind of little, you know, coming out of the center of the character. So we'll go ahead and push play, go ahead and preview this thing, click 1, and there is kind of, that's not perfect. Maybe I could try to put it behind the character. Again, close. I don't mess with, I try not to mess with stuff when with that open. Let's see. I don't know if you can layer these. Let's see, bring to front. Okay, you can. And then that should make it look more like it's behind it. Let's see how that works. Close this. Save again, Control S, push play. Pull this up. Yeah, I think that does look like it's behind it. It's just a transparent guy. So that'll take some more tweaking with, but here's the, yeah, it's not too bad. That'll need some work, but you get the idea. And then that's, I can't get through that guy, and I have no directional movement. I can't do anything with the keyboard. All I can do right now is jump. So let's go fix that real quick. And all that was with the keyboard. So we'll go mess with our user interface, which is right here. Ooh, not this one. We need to go mess with game field user interface. And here's our tapper, which should be making the character jump. So I added this in when I had it paused, but it was a character button. I just dragged it in, and you just change this to jump. And then of course I renamed it tapper, because that's what you're going to be tapping on to make the character jump. Now, as far as not being able to get through the purple block, we'll come back over here. Sorry, wrong one again. World 1, into the world, mess with the objects, go to the purple object, get the collision shape editor. And if you want to be able to pass through a block, you need to turn this button here on, and you'll see the green arrow come, and then you can pick which direction you want the character to be able to pass through. Obviously, you want them to be able to pass through up on this one, but if you wanted them to be able to fall through something and then not come back up, you can make it happen with that too. And this was in Buildbox 1. This is in a new feature. Let's see, just get close to it for now. I can come back and tweak this. Yeah, it looks pretty good, sure. Alright, I'm going to be a little bit anal here. This needs to come out 1. Out 1. Okay. Call that good. Close that. Almost did it. Save first, Control S, now restart. And here we go. Now he can get through it, and then he can rest up there. I don't know why he is rolling. He should not be moving. I have no control over that. Okay, so, well, I don't want him moving like that. So what we can do to stop that is come over here, and I haven't messed with this yet, but, I mean, I have. I'm saying I haven't changed it yet on here. I know how it works. I just haven't changed it yet. I don't think we're in the right world. Why is this? This is supposed to be up. Game direction 270. There it is. So that is supposed to be up. Maybe I was in world 2 there. Anyway, it's pointing up. It should be up. And what we want to do is turn on, let's see, we have them on. So why can't I see them? I should be able to see the, let me close this. Let's come over here. Open this up a little more. I should be able to see the, oh, on the start page, that's why. So on the start page, let me get over here. The guides, the game frame, this is the button to turn those on and off. And when you turn them on, so you can set, I can set, let's squeeze this in on the character. So then basically he, well, what this was supposed to do, just paused and I thought about this for a second. I don't think this is going to work quite the way I want it to, but this will illustrate a point for now that you can do. You used to be able to set this for all your worlds at one time, and that was it. And then down here we can set that to, I'm just clicking on them to change their color. Red means it'll kill them if they hit that part. So as they're going across the screen, if they fall back down and they go to the bottom of the page and they hit this little red part, they're going to die. The orange yellowish on the side here, that means that they can't go through there. It's blocking them. And the grade lines mean they can pass through it, and the screen will move with them, or they can, they can go out that way in that direction. And then the top we will pass through. So basically, what we're saying here is it has to stay between the yellow lines. If he falls to the bottom, he dies, and if he can go through the top, the character. So let's play now. It should keep him. And there he just bumped up against that yellow, but that's just, it's weird. I don't know why it's not staying centered in the screen. And then that's also going to cause a problem. So what I was brainstorming is that's probably going to cause a problem if I wanted to. So for instance, I already know I want to do this. So now the trick is to figure out how to do this without killing my character. And basically what I'm doing is going to make this purple go back and forth. So let's see. So we'll start by giving this guy a little bit of velocity, and he's a fixed object right now, which means he will just move back and forth, and he's not vulnerable to the laws of physics as set for the world. So we'll give him a linear velocity of 10, what is that, to the right, I believe. So then over here we'll give him a, when he hits this side, he will get a linear velocity of negative 10, so he'll go back the other way, and we'll change or replace that value instead of adding. So you can add to it, you can multiply to what he has, what it's already at, and you can replace it. So we're going to do replace, and then affected asset, we're going to say purple bar. It was said that the transforms were going to work on characters, but I still don't see a way to add it to characters. So if somebody knows how that works, please explain, because it was very clear that it was going to be applicable to characters, and I can't figure out how to do that now. So anyway, negative 10, which should push it back the other way, and I probably got these wrong. I always get these XY coordinate things wrong. Let's see, and again, replace. So when he basically it should just bounce back and forth. Let's see if I got it right. Yep, looks like I got it. Oh, uh-oh, he went off the page there. Let's see, replace. Oh, I didn't select the purple bar. Okay. So now he should go back and forth. And what I'm worried about is that those guides, the frames, are going to prevent him from going left or right when he lands on it. So he should be able to get on it. Yeah, but then he doesn't get carried left or right with it. So maybe it's friction. I'm going to play with this for a second. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, so what I did, I dragged these bars. I dragged them out from the middle all the way to the side. I haven't tested this yet. We're going to see if it works here. Selected the character, double checked, and make sure that I have all of his any kind of sticky properties. I guess would be one thing to call them. Sticky properties meaning like air drag, things that make them sticky or slow down. Air drag, set those to zeros. Lean forces all to zero. Anything that I thought might slow them down. And then I came over to the world properties and I increased the friction to 200. So I'm hoping that makes him stick to surface objects. So we'll see. Control S, save, and let's see. I can land on this guy. Nope, that doesn't seem to be working. Wait, what happened at the bottom there? He just fly off? Well, let's try that again. That's weird. He's just sliding right on it. Alright, let me pause again. Okay, after a couple of crashes here, and I've been going through some pretty wild values for different settings that I was trying to, like, what on earth could this be? I figured out it's all about the fixed rotation for making it stick to those objects. So let me go back and fix something first before I get into this. Let's see, friction, I jacked that way up. I don't remember what else I jacked way up and down. Friction's probably okay at 10. Okay, and then in here, I was like, well, maybe it's character. So come into character, came down, started changing these, went real crazy with different, everything. So air drag is interesting. You got your X and your Y. So this won't let it move left and right very quickly, but but this one will let it move up and down quick. So I just put it the up and down. I just changed it so that it won't be able to jump and it won't be able to fall, because the air that the drag creates on it is going to stop it from dropping. Watch this. So see how slow it went there? And then when I try to jump, there's just so much air drag that it can't. Well, the same thing is going to happen if I change it to here. I believe that's the X. Then it's not going to move left and right because of the air drag. So when it's in the air, not touching a platform, it won't move left or right. So go and we'll show that real quick. Let's see. I'll take that off. That was accidental. Check. So I can get up there. I hit it, and it doesn't. Even when it starts moving, the air, it's not pushing it all around crazy again like it was. Once it gets in the air, it's like, boop, it just stops moving. But on the ground, it's still, you can see it's rolling is what it's doing. And how we fix that, I just, after a lot of clicking and changing, it's the fixed rotation. So this won't allow the character to roll anymore. So before, watch when he hits that purple bar, he actually starts rolling as soon as he touches the purple bar. And that's what's making him, see that? That's just kind of, now it's getting faster and faster. And then when it hits down there, it rolls off. So that's, if you put it on fixed rotation, it won't allow it to roll, and watch what happens. As soon as he lands on it, it is going to stick. Okay, not quite the way I had it working a minute ago. Maybe platform friction did play a big part of that then. I thought maybe that was coincidental. Let's check. Nope, platform friction. Jack that way up, and there we go. So now we got this guy stuck on there. He can jump up whenever he wants, come back down and land on it, and that's exactly what I wanted. So get in. Let me pause real quick. Okay, so I imported some these red bars. I didn't make them enemies or anything. They're just there, representative of what a bad, enemy object would look like. I put another, what do you call these, the transforms up here. So this guy is going to move back and forth, and I got to give him a velocity. What do I start this guy with? 10, so we'll give him 10. And that'll get him moving, and then he can bounce back and forth off of these transform objects. And so this, we'll go ahead and make this guy, we'll leave it for now. So click play, and now you can see kind of the idea of the game. Kind of got to get in there, see, that would have killed me if this were, and this is very beginning stages, and the idea is try to get through here. I'm not very good at this game yet. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Come on, I want to do this one time though. There it is. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Kind of, whatever. Get through there, and it's just that easy. So I'll be doing teleports and stuff like that in here. I've already practiced with those a little bit today, got a good feel for how they're going to work, and yeah, I'm excited to do that. So we'll get the teleports working, get some more effects going. This is just very basic, kind of almost wireframing it out right now, and hopefully we'll get it looking better. So that's about it, I think, for this video. I'm way over my 15 minutes, but you know, it was the first one and there's a lot going on here. So I didn't get to the game over yet. I haven't gotten to the pause screen. I haven't game field UI I talked about a little bit. It's just a pause button, and yeah. Trying to think here for a sec. Let's see. Just to be clear, so the game field UI, this UI is set to go to each of the 3 worlds, and that has the tapper button on it. Let's say I wanted to do a different one for each of the worlds, which it asks you in the beginning if you want a different UI for each world. This is what it's talking about. So I could have a UI for this one, I could have a UI for this one, I could duplicate this, and I could have a UI, user interface, UI for this one. So each of my worlds, then I could come in and I could say I want this one to be like maybe like this, and I want some other buttons up here to do other things, whatever. This could be, you know, a left. Let's say on this world I'm going to be able to move the character left and right without and be able to tap at this, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I want this user interface for. And let's see, I'm going to get myself lost here. So there's a game field UI, game field UI. So you could have a different UI for each of the worlds, or you can have them all connected to the same UI, or you could have these 2 to this UI. I could delete this one and have a different UI just for the 3rd world. I can do it however I want. But right now I'm going to keep them all with the 3rd one. And I thought that was kind of neat. That was pretty, and it works, I mean, so far. So kind of neat, interesting. And I mean, you could even say, so let me duplicate that again. I could duplicate that down here. And same with the pause button on here. You could have them both go to the same pause screen. You could have them go to different pause screens if I wanted. I could have a pause screen for one world and a pause screen for another world. I could have a different game over user interface for one over the other. I could come in here and drop a control down for a navigation button, and I can call it well, this would actually be an observer. Let me go back and change this to an observer, I think is what I would want to put. Yep, event observer, and we could say, I don't know, game over. Well, it's already there, but game over. I'm going to go ahead and save before I crash, if I crash, but where is it? So there's game over on the pause. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. And you know, there's a lot of options for whatever you want to do, however you want to set it up. It's a lot of options here. I'll be going over those in more tutorials shortly. And speaking of that, again, YouTube, subscribe. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook. Follow and like respectively for those 2. I do appreciate it, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on the next video. So thanks.